My name is Ron Infantino, and I'm going to be interviewed by Bobby Fazio. Bobby Fazio put the camera in here, so he's going to interview. Yeah, the camera's...
We're here at the 2022 NHRA PC Richard & Son National Open. Division 1 is finally back on the track. We're here at Atco Dragway, and I'm standing here with a very, very happy Mr. Ron Infantino, who runs a G-Stock automatic 1969 Camaro, and he just made a killer pass. Ron, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing really good, Bobby.
All right.
A lot better today than I was yesterday.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Ron, first off, tell us where you come from.
So I live in northern New Jersey. I'm in a small town called Hasbrook Heights. I'm right outside of New York City. It's a small suburb right out of Manhattan, and I've been living there pretty much my whole life.
All right,
about
so
an hour, about 45 minutes from Englishtown, about an hour and a half to here to Atco.
All right, so pretty close by. Now, Ron, you got a 69 Camaro here, G-Stock automatic. What's the engine combination for the car?
So I used to run the 300 horse with this car for a number of years. We had a spare motor. It's a 255-280 combination that I run right now. And we've had this motor in the car for the past year. I had Steve Ficacci, my engine builder, go through it, and we've been running the car. We ran this motor all of last year, and obviously we're going to run it this year too.
All right, so it's a 350 cubic inch. 255 was the advertised horsepower back in 69.
It's 255, 280.
255 was the advertised, 280 is the NHRA rated.
Correct.
So in G-Stock automatic, how much do you have to weigh?
So the minimum is 3250.
3250, and then what's the class index?
Class index is 12 flat.
All right, now would you like to tell everybody how fast you just went a couple
I
minutes
just
ago?
went at 1063 with a 123 and change.
Wow.
It's the fastest I've ever gone with this car. There's a lot of people I want to thank. Steve Ficacci, my engine builder, definitely at the top of the list. He's in my opinion, the best, the best out there. He builds fast, competitive engines. Dean Oliver does my carburetors. Lenny Croteau at Ultimate does my converters. Tom Goldman did all the suspension on the car. Steve Calabro and Joe Fasano, Ed Schrader, all my friends and support that I get, my family, have made this car to what it is today. It took me almost 20 years to get this car to be competitive, as it is today. When I bought the car, I bought it from Billy Harper, who races in Division 1. Bought the car back in 2002. At that time the car, didn't really run the index that well. So over the years we kept putting a little bit more at it and giving it a little bit of this, a little bit of that. We're finally here today where now the car is, in my opinion, working from bumper to bumper, and it's just a really, really, really competitive car. Couldn't be any happier with it.
Indeed, and it did a giant wheelie in that run that you just made.
Yeah.
And on top of that, you had a 000 light.
Yes.
Who painted the car?
So the car was painted by a gentleman by the name of Bob Gonier. He's a bracket racer out of Englishtown. He used to race in Englishtown quite a bit, and he's in Central Jersey. And he painted the car back in 2014. A lot of people think it's Hugger Orange. It's actually not. It's called Tangelo Orange, and it's got a little pearl in it. So it tends to change colors depending on if the sun is out or if it's a cloudy day.
Oh, that's awesome. It's a gorgeous car.
Thank you.
The car was white in the past, if I'm
The car, when
correct.
I bought it, was white in the past. Yes.
Right. Let's take a peek inside the car,
Sure.
Ron. Now, do you know who built the car before? I guess it was a race car before you purchased it,
So Billy
right?
Harper, who races here in Division 1, I believe, was the original owner on the car. I think he drove this car to high school, from what I've been told. So he was the original owner, and then we bought it from a guy by the name of Nick Minischetti and Tantillo out in White Plains, I believe, where they were living at the time. And we went and picked it up, and here it is, almost 20 years later. Almost.
Very nice, very clean car. Nice wiring job.
Yeah, Tom Goldman did all the wiring in this car. Again, just spectacular work ethic. He did the roll cage for me. We put this cage in, I'd say about 6 years ago. Tommy did the whole cage, did the carpeting, did the seats for me, and he did all the, all this work down at the bottom here.
He is well known in Division 1. Tom Goldman.
Highly recommended.
Very, very nice work. Very hard worker. Very, very brilliant Man, I mean, the guy just knows everything about it.
Highly recommended.
What kind of transmission?
So
and converter?
I have two transmissions for this car. I have a Sapanic. They're both metrics. I have 200 metrics. I have a Sapanic metric with a 283 first gear. This is a McClay that I put in the car last year. This also has the 283. So I have two good transmissions. Typically swap them out back and forth depending on how many races we do a year.
And then the converter?
The converter is originally done by Lenny Croteau at Ultimate. So this converter, knock on wood, has been in the car for quite some time. Lenny's gotten it over the years to freshen up, but it's holding up really good.
About an 8-inch converter?
8-inch, yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
Excellent.
Yep.
Now you did a giant wheelie. What kind of shocks are you running on the car?
So I have sand tufts in the front, and I have to tell you, this car never wheel stand like that. Like, this car doesn't really wheel stand. Dean Oliver did some work to the carburetor over the winter. I had a carburetor that I wanted him to go through, and I think we found a couple of things in the carburetor. We also, for the first time, put Mickey Thompson's on the car, which I also think helped. So, and the air is good. I mean, the air here today is just spectacular. I never ever went up really that high with the car, so for the next round, we're definitely going to tone it down a little bit.
Oh, that's no
Yeah.
fun, but wise. What was the quickest time you ever ran with this car before?
So at the Dutch Classic last year in September, where the air wasn't that good, we went a 78 with the car. And I told my uncle, over the winter, if we do a couple little things here and there, we think we could really get the car in good air like this in the 60s. We were just really hoping to go in to get in the 60s, and we were able to do that today, a low 60, which I would have never thought in a million years that we'd be able to do this. And the mile an hour, 123 and change, is just killer for this car.
What was the fastest before that?
119.
Wow.
Yeah, 119. This car typically ran last year.
Man, I was up on the starting line too, and I have to say there's a little bit of a crosswind right now, and I mean I didn't feel a tailwind or anything that was helping you, so this is pure power here.
Last year we really didn't have the air to really let the car loose last year at any of the national opens. So we knew this year coming to Atco in early April, if we got the air like we got today, we'd be able to put this thing on kill and see what it really could run, and we were able to do that today.
That's amazing. Let's just take a look at the trunk. What do we have, about a 3-gallon fuel cell here?
Just a 2.5-gallon fuel cell.
Wow.
Tommy Goldman, again, Tommy put this in along with the Aeromotive fuel pump. This whole system is fairly new. We used to have the heavy batteries. We went to the lightweight lithium. These are anti-gravity batteries about 7 years ago. These are about 8 pounds. So this allows me to run F-stock automatic because I can take a lot of weight out of the car. So we did a lot of work back here as well.
Yep, and then you have a weight box right here if
Got
you do
two
want
weight
to
boxes.
add or subtract some weight to run up in F. Now
So
this
this
car can run
combination-
E, F, and G?
This combination is actually F, G, and H.
F, G, and H.
F, G, and
okay.
H. So typically I run F and G with the car.
Right, and then what kind of rear is in this car?
So this has we had a new rear put in a couple of years ago. This is Strange components in the entire rear. Everything is Strange. All new disc brakes, ring and pinion.
Now is this a GM 12-bolt rear
Yeah,
in the car?
it's a GM 12-bolt rear car, yep.
Are you willing to share what kind of gear ratio you run?
I run a 513.
All right, we like when racers tell us what's going on. We want to learn something here. All right, Ron, well, what's your plans for the next run? I mean, are you done, or you want to go a little fast? You want to try and get in the 50s now? I mean, what's the deal?
No, so that's it for, after that run, I think we're done going fast. I'm going to be back next week for the divisional, so Uncle Joe and I are going to get to work and put this thing back in bracket mode and go out there and hit the tree a couple more times this weekend and see what we can do.
Now, for everybody who isn't familiar with stock Eliminator and the strict rules, we also have to worry about what's called a horsepower factor. So, Ron, remind us again what your minimum weight is in G.
So G stock automatic with this combination, minimum is 3250.
All right, so Ron has to pull into a scale and weigh 3,250 pounds with him in the car. Now, we get penalized if we go quicker than 1.2 seconds under our index, and then in G stock automatic, the index is 12 seconds flat. Ron just went 1.4 seconds under. At this race, that does not matter. You can go as fast as you want here, and that's why everybody loves it. However, next week, our divisional points races, official NHRA races begin, and if you go 1.2 seconds under, you get what's called a horsepower hit. And then Ron won't be able to weigh that same weight anymore. He would have to add a ton more weight to the car to run G-Stock automatic, thereby hurting himself in the class. So just another little insight into stock Eliminator racing. We love it. We love the wheelies. We love the rules. We love steel body original cars doing what they were originally meant to do, roaring down the track. So Ron, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Bobby.
We wish you luck this weekend and next, and we can't wait to see what this car does in the next run.
Thank you very much.